Hello and welcome to the Heat Army Podcast Live. We are less than 24 hours away from the massive FA Cup game with Charlton Athletic. It's live on the telly if you didn't already know, and if you're new to the podcast, what we're all about is about Gateshead FC, promoting the club, and as I say, just trying to get more people down there on a match day. And Mickey, tomorrow it looks like there's going to be over 3,500, hopefully touching towards 4,000 at Gateshead Stadium tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable, isn't it?
Looking forward to it. Can't wait. I've got no nerves whatsoever. I'm just super excited. It's like Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
it really is. I've waited for a tie like this, and
it's just a fantastic.
Could have had it as big as anyone. It's like Chef Wade, Portsmouth, Charlton's up there with them, and I'm delighted we've got the chance to pit wits against them.
Yeah, and especially in front of the TV cameras as well. So if you want to send us a message here live on the show, we are going to be joined by Louis Mendez from the Charlton LIve Podcast. He's just waiting in the background. As I say, send in your messages like this. We can bring them up on the screen. Mason Ford's put, "Evening, gents." Good evening, Mason. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be talking about everything else. Send in your thoughts and views. We'll give you information tomorrow as well on what time the turnstile's open. You will have seen it on social media, no doubt. But let's see, we went down to the press conference yesterday. We got a little bit of footage. We've mixed it in. We're just trying to build it up for tomorrow. And when we come back from this, we'll be talking to Louis and getting right into it about Charlton Athletic.
Just missing the Champions League. Isn't it? I'm in the Champions League. We're doing press conference.
From that, but when you look at it from a bigger picture, this for the club, sort of with everything that you take in, finances and everything like that, this is probably the biggest occasion that we've had since I've been here, to be honest.
Jacob Chapman in goal, Robbie Tickler, Mike Williamson player manager, Lewis Story, Alex Nicholson returns to the starting lineup, Dan Ward. Now Macaulay Longstaff drives into the box. Can he get a shot away? He can! Hits the crossbar! Not it in by Campbell! It's 1-0 to Gateshead! The crucial break, and Gateshead have found the opening they wanted, but Mark, there's a lot of football to be played here still.
The next challenge as it comes, and still be as focused and enjoy it. So I feel as though, in the manner of how we conceded the couple of goals here against Alti in the first game, it was a huge disappointment, and just the lads.
Yeah, certainly. The fact that we're a tight-knit club really helps us on the pitch. The fans are massive. I've spoken to you about it before. It's their club. Everything we do is for their community.
Really brings it down well. He needs some support, puts it through the middle for the run. And gets past keeper, misses it. Dan Ward has the ball. He's trying to pass it through. The keeper's holding the ball. Gives it back to Ollie. Gives the keeper enough chance to get back into. He's between the sticks. Now Ollie drives forward with the ball. He's still going. Ollie, can he finish it? He can! What a goal! Started by the captain and finished by the captain. He kept running, and the Alfreton Town defence just stood.
Well, there you go. I'm no Jack McGragan, but I give it my best shot.
You've been busy with that one, haven't you?
Oh, I was busy this afternoon. I'll tell that.
I'd love to hear what Louis thinks of you screaming.
I know. I told the wife I was doing housework, but as I say, we are going to bring in Louis Mendez from Charlton LIve. Hello there, Louis. How are you doing?
Hi, chaps. Yeah, I'm really good. I enjoyed the screaming. I'm a bit of a screamer myself when it comes to commentary. So yeah, I'm all for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, if you've got to
Two screamers.
Get into it. Well, Louis, you cover Charlton professionally as well, don't you? As well as being a fan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do. The Charlton LIve Podcast is sort of my little baby that I host. We've been on that for about 10 years now, actually. But yeah, I cover the club as well for the local paper, South London Press, and I do reports for Radio London as well. So yeah, I sort of have it from every angle. But it's a passion rather than a job, as far as I see it.
Oh, fantastic! Let's see for us as well. Doing this is it's about 10 years as well, isn't it? We've been rumbling on.
Feels longer.
Feels longer. Thankfully, we'll kind of see how badly we've aged because the early ones were audio only. But as I say, obviously from a Charlton perspective, when the draw was made, what was your initial thoughts? Because at the time it was between ourselves and Altrincham.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely buzzing with either way the draw would have went, really, because non-league club away is exactly the sort of clash you want in the FA Cup, especially in like these early stages. And I feel like we haven't really had one of these for ages. I think we played Halifax Town away in about 2012. So you're looking at 9-10 years ago. Last time we played a non-league side away. Mm-hmm. We've had a few home ties, including obviously the first round against Havant this year. But this is obviously what the FA Cup's all about. Going to see a new ground that you haven't been to. Obviously, I've been past it on the Metro on the way to Sunderland a couple of times, and this wasn't really bothered whether it went to Altrincham or Gateshead, really. And yeah, I was so excited about coming up for tomorrow.
And will you stay in the weekend or Louis?
I'm staying the night, but I'm back so early Saturday morning because we got people coming down for the weekend, so I can't, because I normally love to stay in Newcastle as well if I'm in the area or the whole northeast. But yeah, I'm literally, it's a flying visit. I'm going to be there for about 15 hours and then back straight away.
I'll take some pictures for Gabby Ogban, the whole.
Was he the one who said that no one wants to live in the northeast? Was he? Madness. I sound like I'm sucking up, but I love the northeast. We've got friends who live up in Alnwick, so we know the area quite well, and I think it's a great area. When I heard that, I thought, why on earth would you say that? It's a great place.
I think it's just clickbait radio now, isn't it? Well, we'll not mention where it is for legal reasons. I don't want to get sued, but what's been the actual obviously the reaction with fans that message into your podcast? What are their thoughts about coming up here? Are they excited like yourself for coming up the northeast, or is there a little bit of hesitation in it?
I think there's a lot of people disappointed that the game's been moved to the Friday because it makes it that much more difficult to come up, and the train prices were extortionate. By the time the replay was sorted, I think it's costing me 150 quid on the trains. Wow. And to get there and back. I know there were slightly cheaper ways to do it, but because I had to get in at specific times, it's cost me a bit. So those who are coming, though, I mean, it's ticking off a new ground, isn't it? I mean, there's some people who are doing it on the coach as well. So I've done Middlesbrough midweek on a coach, and it means you'll be getting back to South London at 5 or 6 in the morning the next day. You know, it's crazy that people are going to put themselves through that, but these are the FA Cup ties that you want to be at. You know, a non-league side, the atmosphere is going to be great. It sounds like it's going to be packed. It's a tick off as well. Lots of people like to get as many grounds under their hat. Like I say, the only shame is the fact it's the Friday, and therefore a few people are going to miss out. And that and the fact that you seem to have got rid of the roof again at your stadium. But
yeah, well, it disappeared a few years ago through wind damage, and then hasn't been put back. I think there's plans for it to be back, but not in time for Friday. I don't think it'll be any time soon.
Stop the roof cannon back on.
Yeah, but
that's the official line.
I'm just talking about Charlton's recent form. They've conceded a few goals in recent away games. Is that a concern for you? Because I mean, you were 2-0 up away the other week and then ended 2-2.
Yeah. I mean, since Johnny Jackson's come in, actually defensively we've been very good. But yeah, I mean, if you look at our last 2 games, which have both been on the road, then we've actually dropped off ever so slightly. So we were 2-0 up and flying at Morecambe sort of last Tuesday. And then they got one back quite soon after from a penalty that could have gone either way, and then got a corner from that. So, but then, I mean, we went to Shrewsbury on Saturday, and I'm not saying we're at our fluent best by any stretch of the imagination, but I would have bet my house on them never scoring in that 90 minutes, because they had about 10 minutes at the start where they made a couple of chances, and then they were so poor that the fact that we went on to lose to like a long throw bobbling around that got prodded in was a real kick in the teeth, because, like I say, defensively we've tended to be quite strong. So I'm not too concerned about that. I mean, if you were asking me 6 weeks ago when we still had Nigel Adkins in charge, then defensively we were massively found wanting. I think by the time Nigel got sacked, I think we'd probably conceded the second or third most amount of goals in the division. But then Jacko's come in, and our first game, funnily enough, under Jacko was over at Sunderland, who'd won all of their home games at that point, and we went in and put in, our display of the season, 1-0 win. Defensively, we were really solid and didn't really look back after that. I think we kept 4 clean sheets in Jacko's first 5, so he certainly added some steel to that. We've got some injury problems as well at the back, which hasn't helped. But I'm not overly concerned about that in terms of a sort of defensive solidity going into tomorrow.
And I've seen there was a tweet from the FA Cup Fact File Twitter account saying that I think you haven't won 2 FA Cup games in a row in a competition in the last 8 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't believe in those stats. I don't believe that.
No, it's one of those weird quirks of the stats that, like, it's just a nice thing to get into the third round. But actually, I mean, we were there automatically a couple of seasons ago because we were in the Championship, and then we got knocked out straight away anyway against West Brom. But yeah, our cup runs over the last few years, other than I think 8 years ago must have been when we got to the quarterfinals under Chris Powell, which sort of, and I'm sure we'll come on to speak to the various ownership issues that both clubs have suffered. That sort of came in the midst of one of our bad ownership issues. That was a remarkable season for us. But yeah, we've tended to always have very small squads because of said ownership issues, which means cups have never ever been our priority. Now this year we've got a new owner in Thomas Sandgaard. So it took over just over a year ago now, but this year is really starting to make his mark. And whereas there were some question marks over the way the transfer window went in terms of at the start of it, and by the start of the season we weren't really ready. By the end of the season we've got what feels like quite a big squad. So now when we attack these cup games, like we're in the EFL Trophy, the Pizza Cup, and obviously we're in the FA Cup still, we're able to put in sides that actually, they'd have a few players that if they were starting a League One game, you'd think nothing of it. There's reasonably strong sides that we're putting in this year, which we haven't tended to do in years gone by.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's positive. I mean, obviously, both clubs probably similar timeline with the last pair of dodgy owners. But obviously, this year, is it a case of just a bit of stability and rebuilding once you get the new manager in, or is it possible for a late promotion push?
Yeah, I mean, at the start of the season, very much we had our eyes on promotion, but things did go wrong in the summer. I think we were too slow in the transfer window, and then whatever, I still can't put my finger on what Nigel was doing with them, but they were so far off it at the start of the season. They only won 2 in the first 13. So they've given themselves a massive mountain to climb. I think last time I checked, I think we're about 11 points off the playoffs, and it's still half a season to go. It's not impossible, but it is a big ask considering. So if you have to consolidate and then go again the next season, then so be it. But we're certainly on a much more stable footing. The new owner doesn't really have a football background, Thomas Sandgaard, but he's incredibly enthusiastic, and he has put money into the club, which is the most important thing. I mean, there's little side shows that come with it. He's written us a song, stuff like that. He's very eager, which is fine as long as you're putting the money into the club, and that's all I really care about, to be honest. So, and as long as he'll pick up things, he'll learn how transfer windows work and how certain things work. And yeah, I think the future looks bright under Sandgaard, and same as you guys. Obviously, you go through these tough patches, and it makes it feel a lot better, even if it's just stability. There was a guy you mentioned, David, when we spoke the other day, the Joe Calla thing. Yeah, I know you probably don't talk too much about him, but I did want to tell you a quick story because I know you said, he was linked with you guys. Yeah, and I wanted to tell you the story of how he became linked with us. So basically, about whenever we were in the midst of this ownership crisis under the ESI lot, the lot that were extremely shifty indeed, a few of us who were sort of reporting Charlton got a DM from someone saying, "Oh, I've heard Joe Caller's linked with Charlton," and we both sort of went, "Nah, just leave it. I'm not getting involved with this at all." And then one day I was sat doing my day job and had Twitter open, and 3 different Twitter accounts within 10 minutes all tweeted saying, "Oh, I hear Joe Caller's linked with Charlton," and I looked, none of them had ever tweeted about Charlton before. So my guess is that someone wanted to get his name linked with a Championship club. And therefore just did it on Twitter. So that was a little story. That was the only way he was linked with us. There was never anything remotely concrete there.
Yeah, because I think I did see it pop up on Twitter, and then I think all Gated fans just started tweeting.
Started diving in. I mean, obviously, like, we were aware of what was going on with Gateshead. Did you ever actually have to leave the stadium then? If I remember rightly,
we were ejected.
Allowed to play there, but the actual club got kicked out of the ground.
Yeah. So yeah, things like, obviously, Charlton had their own stadium issues back in the day. It was before my time, actually, but in the 80s and early 90s, they had to play away from the Valley. So there are some, even though the clubs have 2 sort of different statures, there's some quite nice little links between the 2 clubs that I'm sure the fans will be able to unite over.
Mentioning links as well. I mean, I spoke to you the other day, and obviously Marcus Maddison had a brief stint. A nice side note, nice to see Marcus Maddison's in a lot better place and looking to get back into professional football. So we wish him all the best. He took a brave decision to take a step back, and hopefully he can get himself into the Football League, if not the National League, and build himself back up, because he was the top assistant in the Football League for about 4 seasons in a row. So
yeah, it was a shame. I think it's obvious now that he wasn't in the right place when he came to us, and all that. We know all about the potential for Marcus Maddison because he's proven it, especially at Peterborough. When he came to us, it didn't quite work. He did score a couple of nice little goals in cup games, I think, or possibly against Plymouth in the league as well. But yeah, no, he's taken a step back, and yeah, hopefully he'll be able to sort of find his feet again when he's ready.
Yeah, definitely. And also as well, a slight link as well with Darren Caskey's son as well, being on the books at Charlton as well.
Yeah, Jake Forster Caskey. Yeah, he was always going to become a footballer with his dad and his stepdad both being professional footballers. But yeah, he's been out injured for a while, unfortunately, Jake, because he was our player of the season last year. A very, very good midfielder for us. But I think he's on the way back. He had an ACL towards the end of the last season. I think we're probably looking at another few weeks at least yet. But yeah, he's a very good player.
Well, we talked about unity between the fans, but I think someone's trying to cause bother between the podcasts because someone says Louis' microphone is more impressive than mine.
It's not the first time you've heard that, is it, Dave?
Charles, it's not the size, it's how you use it. That's what yeah, Mickey, have you got any questions? I don't want to hog it all.
I just hope. I mean, I've been in that position where you've travelled on a coach we went to Yeovil on a Tuesday night from Gateshead and coming back at 4 o'clock in the morning and going to work the next.
Did you win at least?
No, they scored a last-minute equaliser. Believe it or not.
Yeah, no, I had the same Operation Riverside in the FA Cup in about 2006 FA Cup quarter-final replay, and we lost 4-2. Got back to Bromley at 6 a.m. wasn't worth it in the end. There is another thing I was going to mention actually, like talking about coming into these games as a non-league side. I mean, I do have a local non-league club that I've seen FA Cup games with, and it's a club you guys will know reasonably well due to some different cup heartbreak in Bromley. Yeah, the FA Trophy semi-final. So yeah, I've been aware of Gateshead for a little while because of that. I don't think I ever seen you guys play. I don't think I got to either of the games, but yeah, there's I'm hoping you guys aren't going to get your revenge because of that. This
game. A lovely highlight.
Well, I'm hoping so.
Yeah, there's a lovely highlight of me screaming on the Scott Barrow goal on that one because he scored from about 35 yards.
Yeah, very nervous sort of final 20 minutes or so. It was near the end, wasn't it? But there was still a bit of time.
Yeah, near the end. And I apologise to anybody's dogs within a 10-mile radius. I hit them.
But I will say, Louis, though, to any Charlton fan that's coming up, if you get the time, go to the Schooner. Just go straight down Nielsen Road, continue on. There's a pub there, does some excellent real ales and some food.
So that sounds like my sort of thing. If I wasn't working, that sounds like the sort of place I'd be in. That's the thing. I do hope there's a few who are making a weekend of it, even though it was quite short notice and we have been up at Sunderland recently. But the Newcastle Gateshead area in terms of a weekend, there's not really many better out there, is there?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I wouldn't go to Curly's on the high street if I was you.
No. I'd give that one
The
a
old
miss.
fleece.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste in them venues. But
I'm intrigued now.
We've had a dusting of snow here. We've had a dusting of snow and ice here this morning. It's going to be warmer tomorrow. I don't think it'll be that bad.
Yeah.
But as I said to you on your podcast, please tell any Charlton fan, if there's any Charlton fan watching, if you're watching this on the journey up or you're catching a little bit of it, do wrap up. It is probably one of the coldest stadiums in the country. I'm not joking. It's going to be cold on that far side.
It did seem like incredibly sort of ambitious that they built a stadium for a summer sport in Gateshead. You know, in athletics, it does feel like. Do they ever have a day that isn't rained off?
Oh, you know what? I've made a mistake in pre-season. I once went to the stadium in shorts. It was a red hot day in July, but the stand, obviously, the back of it faces the sun, so you're in the shade, and the wind just comes off the tine and gently, and it just dropped. I was shivering in July, and in a heat wave, I was shivering. But yeah, just honest. I mean, anyone in the 10 wheel stand will be wrapping up, but definitely wrap up in the east stand. That's
any Geordie will have a long sleeve shirt on instead of a short sleeved one tomorrow.
Yeah, that's how it's going to be.
That's when you know it's going to be bad.
It certainly is.
You will have hats, scarves, players, managers' coats about 14 foot thick.
I'm known for not dealing with the cold very well as well, so I'm gonna might bring my duvet.
Yeah, I think it might be best. But I mean,
easier just bringing a bed.
Somebody did put a message here before, and of course, you're on the back of an FA Cup scalp with Norwich Victoria many moons ago. I think John Joe Shelby was only about 16 at the time, wasn't he, in the squad?
Yeah, he played though. So that was back in, I think, 2008. I'll have to double. It might be in 2009 under Phil Parkinson. But before we played Havant and Waterlooville in the first round, I don't know why, I decided to watch the highlights of that game, and we lost 1-0. And it was on TV, and we conceded quite late. But watching the highlights reminded me that we got absolutely battered in that game. And this was a team that had like Darren Randolph, who went on to play Premier League as a goalkeeper. John Joe Shelby, as you know, any Geordie will know well. And it was pretty much Charlton's first team. So it goes to show if you're not there on the day, then you can get sort of humiliated, and that's what. Hopefully Jacko will be showing that to the boys before tomorrow's game. If they think it's going to be an easy ride. I mean, even the Havant game, you look at the score 4-0, you think it was an easy one. But I mean, all 4 of those goals came in the final 18 minutes. Havant made it really hairy for us. And I'm no doubt that if we don't get an early goal, then we can get quite nervous in games like this. And with a Gateshead crowd, that'd be bang up for it. They're in numbers, and the Gateshead team, they're absolutely flying in the league, in the National League North. I think I checked. You could probably double check this for me, but I think there's only 2 or 3 games this season in which you haven't scored.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly, and I think your home record is basically won all of them apart from 1 draw, and this is whatever the equivalent of the Kent Senior Cup is. That's not on the soccer base. That basically you've won pretty much every home game.
Yeah.
We're good going forward. But don't worry on corners because we're different threatened. Mike Williamson scored at Curzon last week and I nearly collapsed.
Yeah.
Scored from a corner.
Well, we have conceded from one recently, so maybe lightning will strike twice.
As I said to you on your show, I'm not confident, but I go into the game with belief, and just the way we're playing, and I think it'll lend better to playing a higher caliber side. I think we pass the ball very well. I think it'll lend to a very good game of football on the night. Just hopefully we can give ourselves a good advert, and especially the people at Tyneside that'll be watching in as well, to hopefully come down and support us on a match day.
Yeah, I would. The game you played against Altrincham, obviously, I guess you wouldn't have gone into those as favourites, but they were high scoring encounters, and like I say, if we get sucked into that, then who knows what can happen, especially because we don't, like I say, I don't know exactly what sort of team we're going to put out. I think if we had a clear week next week, then I would absolutely have put our first team out. But we're due to play Ipswich on Tuesday at the Valley. Yeah. So that will be at the back of Jacko's mind. We played on Tuesday in the Pizza Trophy as well. So it'd be interesting to see sort of what sort of gauge he goes for it. I imagine someone like Jaden Stockley started in the Havant game and has just come off the back of a suspension. So needs minutes. I imagine he'd be playing. There's plenty of quality in our side. Someone like Harry Arter could play. He's not really played too much this season, but this could be the sort of game to get minutes for him. There'll be plenty of that. Plenty of players you would have heard of who've played Premier League. I think Pap Soiree was at Palace in Premier League. Although you wouldn't know it having watched him this season, but there's
Pop by nature.
Yeah, there's plenty of players you may have heard of in our side. And we've spoken about Elliot Lee as well. I don't know if he'll play, but obviously he's got ties to the local area with his dad, who came up through the ranks at Charlton, but obviously ended up at Newcastle, where some seem to remember him more for playing for Newcastle than they do for Charlton for some reason.
That's just funny, that, isn't it? It's just
I've seen probably years ago when Newcastle were 2-0 up and Charlton won 3-2. Rob Lee played the blinder that day.
Oh yeah. Was that not 4? Was it not 3-0, 4-3? I think possibly, or that might have been a different one. Yeah, I remember there's a famous game we had at St James's Park, but yeah, it was a long time since we played there.
Well, Louis, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure linking up. Who knows? We might even do it again if there's a replay.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
Yeah,
safe
trip, and remember, bring your blanket.
Cheers, guys.
Water bottle, hand warmers.
There we go. That's Louis there. Fantastic. Have him on from Charlton LIve Podcast. If you want to have a little listen to his latest one, that'd be great. We've got Mark Crovers in the background. We'll be bringing him in very, very shortly. What we're going to do is now, though, we're just going to play a message from our sponsors, who we can break the news now. They are going to continue their sponsorship as well for another season. They're going to be renewing our subscription for us. So that is absolutely fantastic. So we thank Northern Print Solutions, and we'll definitely be making a new advert as well. Well, there we go. As if by magic, Magic Mark has joined us. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Busy day. Final sort of preparation for tomorrow. It's been an enjoyable but busy week, as you know, because you've been part of it. But no, it's been good, and just looking forward to. I think Dick, I mentioned it, didn't he, on Northern Goals the other night, that I think, did he say it'll be like Christmas Eve on Thursday at night?
Yeah.
I don't think it's just been as stressful as Christmas Eve, but
it's a lot more easier.
It is a lot easier, yeah. But no, it's going to be a great day for the club, a great day for the region as well. You know, it's not very often one of our non-league clubs gets a tie as big as this against a former Premier League club. You could probably go back to the year when obviously Gateshead played West Brom and Spartans played Birmingham for the last time that happened. Was that 2014-15, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, as I say, just a great occasion.
And we were at the press conference yesterday. Obviously, I was getting footage. You were getting interviews. I'd say a fantastic turnout from the national press, and it looks like ITV are going to be giving it a real good push on the covering Gateshead, of course, being the home team. But the cameras were all over, and they were you could see they were going to do some big interviews, and someone I know had a big interview as well.
Yeah, they spoke to Mike, didn't they? Yeah, it was, you know, they've obviously putting together a feature on Gateshead, and I think it's been linked in with Newcastle by the sound of the questions that were being asked. So, which I always find you know, this tie, it's about Gateshead. It's not about Newcastle United. I get why they're doing it, but
there was a tone to it from the national press that was there. It was every question was linked or, you know, some way entwined with Newcastle. There wasn't hardly just a Gateshead question. It was only the local press like yourself that managed to get that across. But hopefully that gets picked up by the national papers, whatever articles they put out.
But I think, as I may have said in the interview, you know, this game's don't get me wrong, it's a tie that Gateshead want to win, but it should also be a celebration of how far the club have come because of the supporters. It should be a celebration of the fact that the supporters saved their club, you know, from from going out of business and did it. It's a hoodie. I'm cold in this house. I don't know how. We've got the heating blaring, but it's getting cold, Charles. Yeah, don't worry. I'll be wrapped up warm tomorrow night. But yeah, going back to it, it's the authorities let Gateshead Football Club down and let the supporters down 3 years ago, and there was only one group of people that were going to rescue it, and that was the supporters. So tomorrow is a celebration of how far they've come under this consortium, how far the supporters have allowed the club to come, and how far they can still go. And I firmly believe tomorrow will be a good indicator of just how far they have come since that takeover.
Definitely, and I mean the ticket sales reflect it as well. That we've spoken numerous times about what the club's done off the pitch. They're being rewarded now by this tie that they've earned, and the Tyneside public. I mean, Tyne and Weir stand is sold out. They're having to sell tickets behind the goals now. It's going to have that real FA Cup magic feel tomorrow, isn't it? There's going to be a lot of new faces. There's going to be a lot of excitement.
And the thing is, this always happens with non-league clubs where there's that temptation to focus on the money side of it and to talk about the 60 grand from the TV, the TV broadcasting fees, the money from the ticket sales, as you say. I dare say merchandise sales will go up. But as great as that is, you shouldn't look beyond the possibility of attracting longer-term support. So I'd imagine there'll be a lot of people going tomorrow, going to stop it. There'll be a lot of people. There'll be a lot of people going to a Gateshead game for the first time in their lives tomorrow. I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And it's a good opportunity to show them that. Look, let's be honest. There is a behemoth of a football club on the other side of the Tyne. And Newcastle United, for all of the struggles, are only going to get bigger in the coming years because of the investment. But that doesn't mean there isn't a place in Tyneside football for the likes of Gateshead, and I'll extend this to, your North Shields, your Benfields, and your Heaton Stanningtons in the Northern League. Non-league football is a massive part of football on Tyneside, but bringing it back to Gateshead, it's a good chance to attract support that will come back in what we shouldn't forget, and I know we're focusing on tomorrow, and I get that, is a huge game on Tuesday night against York City. So it would be great if there is 4,000, 4,500, 5,000, whatever's there tomorrow. It'd be nice to think that a fair proportion will come back on Tuesday night when it goes back to, and I hate using this cliche, when it goes back to the bread and butter, and the main aim of this season is to get back in the National League. Let's see if those supporters, the ones that are going to be getting behind the Heat tomorrow, can come back on Tuesday night, and even more so, come back when they've got the likes of Bradford Park Avenue at home and Alfreton Town at home. Already played Alfreton, of course.
And also as well, we mentioned it's on telly, of course, and a lot of people from the region will be tuning in. They're going to see a crowd there. They're going to hear a crowd that's hopefully going to be behind the team. Let's hope it's an exciting game to generate that. And that can hopefully entice a few people to come down, especially the brand of football we're playing. Yes, we're playing the higher, caliber of opposition tomorrow night, but I truly believe that we will have our moments in the game, and it's whether we take those chances.
I've spoken to a few people around the club, and we all know how Gateshead play. Yeah, and I think people who haven't got knowledge of the football club and haven't got knowledge of Mike Williamson as a manager and Ian Watson as an assistant manager and Louis Story, they won't know about the players. Yes, they may have heard of them, but most people will tune in tomorrow night thinking Gateshead are going to be your stereotypical non-league football club and football team, where it's, can we knock it into a big man? Can we, the traditional sort of big number 9, can we go along? Can we get crosses in the box? Can we do this? Will it be physical? And that's about as far away from what Gateshead are, where they're at the moment. You don't have players like Greg Ollie in midfield, or, the top end of the pitch, your Adam Campbell's and Macaulay Langstaff's, Kedwin Scott's. If you're going to play that way, they'll get it down, they'll play it, and I think Gateshead will surprise a few on Friday night. Now, we should say, and despite what Lou said there, Charlton are still going to be a very, very good side. I know they're not having the season maybe they thought they were going to have, but Charlton Athletic are still a very, very good side. And I noticed yesterday, Mike made a point of saying they've got a young manager that will want to make an impact. And one of the biggest impacts he can make is by getting into the third round and drawing a big club at home and really allowing Charlton to relive, I hate saying this because they're a great football club, but relive those Premier League days by playing a club that used to be a regular fixture for them.
And also it's a big game for them because they'll be looking at it as a chance to say, well, yeah, it's a good stepping stone to get through to the third round and get a money maker,
And they'll also look at it as a way of kickstarting the season because League One's a funny old league this year, that a bit of a run and it could be on the fringes of playoffs. So it's a tough test for Gateshead. There's no doubt about it. They are clearly the outsiders to go through, but this is the FA Cup. It is Friday night. It's under the floodlights. It's going to be cold. There's going to be a big crowd lodgy behind Gateshead. And I'll say it again, it's the FA Cup. And all three of us have been watching football for long enough to know literally anything can happen in the FA Cup.
Yeah, definitely. We've got it.
Anything can happen. Never mind in the FA Cup.
I was going to say Mickey's been watching football for a lot longer than us, though, Dave.
Yeah, he's got a few years on with.
You can tell as well.
I've got a few messages that I haven't read out yet, but I'm going to put them on shortly. But there is one from Talk of the Tynesiders, of course, Daniel Wales. Mark, how will you celebrate if the Heat win?
By having a long sleep. That's how. Yeah. I'm absolutely shattered at the moment. No, do you know what? I'm working for a number of outlets tomorrow, so I'll probably not get time to celebrate it. It'll be a case of going home, go to bed, and then get up. And I'm at Whitley Bay against Ashington on Saturday, so be preparing for that. So it's another busy weekend. But no, you know what? It's one of those tomorrow night. It would be huge, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. Not just for Gateshead. Obviously, they are the main focus. But to see Gateshead joining Newcastle United and Middlesbrough in that third round draw on Monday night, and the possibilities of who could come. But I will say again, to bring everyone back down to earth, they are very much the outsiders. Charlton
it's a good team.
Oh, massively. And, some of the players that were mentioned, I know the likes of Harry Arter, as was said, probably won't play. Elliot Lee probably won't play. But these are Premier League, well, they were Premier League class players. But I look at Gateshead and I look at the energy in the team, and if they can keep it tight at the back and stay in the tie for as long as possible, then there's a chance.
It certainly is. Well, Mark, thank you very much for joining us. You'll be joining me on the commentary tomorrow night. You'll be keeping me from hitting the ceiling if we have a goal scoring opportunity. But Mark, it's always been a pleasure.
Got to keep it warm.
Yeah, you got to. Oh, I have to keep warm tomorrow. We're going to have to get a coat that we can both share. But
I'll let you mine will probably go around you. How fat lad here.
Yeah, I didn't like to say anything. But Mark, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure. And also check out the Northern Goals show, available to watch now as well. And there's a good build up to the weekend on there as well if you're going to take in any games on the weekend. So thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Mark.
Bye. There we go, the brilliant Mark Carruthers there. We've got lots of messages that I'll be reading out. We've got one from Talk of the Tynesiders, Danny Wales there before. Hi, lads. Loving the show as always. Could you check out my interview article with Mike on the Talk of the Tynesiders, or watch the interview on YouTube? So have a little search for that channel there. Like and subscribe. He's doing a lot of content, is Daniel Wales, and he was at the press conference yesterday, and he actually chipped in there, but he had put a Gated-based question when there. That's what I said the local press that was there were putting in for me, I could say the more appropriate questions, but I suppose it's the little stories not linking Newcastle aren't going to sell their articles to the newspapers, I suppose. We've got a message here from Charles Wolf. The team are so in tune with each other. I can hear on the pitch how they support each other. I'm quietly confident they can do it. Well, it's going to be a tough game, but if we go out there and give ourselves just give ourselves the best showing. That's all we can do, and we'll create chances. It's whether we can take them and stay tight at the back. But we'll keep sending you messages, 100% live. We've got a few things to read out as well. As I say, tickets are still available tonight as well until 12 midnight. So if you want to get your tickets, and maybe you've been listening to this and thinking, I've got to get there, I don't want to watch it on the telly, the tickets are available on the club website. There'll be links on social media as well, the links on the club website to where you buy them. do that. 12 midnight is the cut-off point. We're going to play a couple of little adverts, and when we come back, we want more of your messages, and also as well, we've got a message from a viewer in Thailand as well that's reached out. So 1 second, I'm just trying to find the couple of the adverts here.
This is Danny Greenfield. He doesn't know he's being watched at the moment, but we know he's subscribing to the He Down With podcast. He's also following us on Twitter and Facebook, and you can do the same. But Danny, the camera is always watching.
Oh, that's a lovely picture of Danny Greenfield I've just took. What's that? Danny, man, keep your legs together. Oh, I knew I couldn't use this.
That's right, Danny. Keep them clever, keep them together.
Hello everybody, remember to like and subscribe and share the show.
Yes, like and subscribe. Please do on all of our social media platforms. It really does help. We want to get more people talking about Gateshead. And as I say, this is the place to do it. We want you to be involved. And lots of people have been sending messages here. Mr. Luke, I've been a supporter for over 3 years now, and I can say this is the best season I've had. Gateshead. I haven't been on the telly since we played Ebbsfleet. We haven't been on the telly since we played Ebbsfleet back in 2018 on BT Sport. It's well, when you drop down, it's few and far between at this level. But we've got our chance to do it. We've got hats off to Mark. He's done loads for the club since the Cala Out days. He certainly has. His work didn't go unnoticed. We've got here, heard the rumour the Nags is open till Tuesday when we win. Well, get yourselves down and celebrate if we are.
Till the draw's made.
Yeah, till the draw's made. Yeah.
Well said, John.
So that'll be fantastic. I'm just trying to see if there's any messages that we've missed. Just wonder what pundits will be there at Gateshead. I'm not sure. I don't know who the ITV will be sending up.
I would think Rob Lee's a good chance of being there, like.
Possibly links to the Northeast, and of course Charlton and his son playing. So keep them messages coming in. It'd be lovely to hear you. If you can hear the washing machine in the background in the studio at my kitchen, it's about to finish. It's on its final cycle. I always tell my wife not to do it on there, but right. I've got a couple of things here to read out. We'll do a bit of housekeeping. Remember, the turnstiles open at 6 p.m. tomorrow as well. So if you want to get in early, get your pie. As I say, the pies are absolutely fantastic this season. They are delicious. Also as well, the Gated Soul did a signed shirt raffle. That was drawn this afternoon live on YouTube. And if you missed it, Mike Williamson drew out Kevin Fisher. He was the winner. So well done, Kevin Fisher. I'm sure the Gated Soul will be reaching out to you very soon. If not, they already have. And on the back of that, £400 was raised for the Gated Soul Supporters Trust. So well done, everybody that bought a ticket and was involved there. Mickey, what are you doing there in the build-up to the game? Are you just going to sit nervously over a cup of tea, or are you...
I don't know what I'm going to do, actually. I know one thing, after the podcast, I've got to put me tops in the wash, because I've got an old style badge on my t-shirt, and I've wore that every game we haven't lost, so that's got to get washed. And then tomorrow, I don't know, I might have to go and do a bit shopping.
Yeah, and
I'll go pick my daughter up.
So professional as usual, Dave. I thought I didn't read there. I didn't get vasectomy and circumcision mixed up, and I remembered what it was this week. So if anyone's wondering why I'm talking about that, listen back to the last two podcasts, and you'll find out why I'm an idiot.
I'm going down early because I'm going to try and get receipts.
Yeah, it's going to be busy. So right, we've got a message from George Albert, who reached out to the Gated Soul. I must be the only Gated person following Gated from Thailand. As you know, when we spoke years ago after the Cambridge playoff, I listened as it was no pictures to your podcast. I played in the 1960s at Redcliffe Park under Bobby Mitchell and Laurie McMenemy. I shall watch the game live on TV in Bangkok on Friday versus Charlton, and looking forward to what Sunderland can't do and beat Charlton in the third round, and then in the third round play English. Oh God, we're going into fantasy land here on this bit, and play the richest club on Tyneside before playing Manchester, one of the Manchester clubs in the 4th round. Keep it going, lads. George Albert. So thank you very much there. So he's looking past the 2nd round already, but we'll have to see how that goes. But remember, just as we said before, tickets do stop going on general sale. You can't buy them on the turnstile. They are on sale until 12 midnight. Go on. We've retweeted it on our social media, and it'll be all over Gateshead social media as well and on the website. So if you want to get your tickets and you want to go down, don't hesitate, because you will miss out. Because I know I've seen a few people on social media missed out on getting their tickets to the Tyne and Wear stand. They weren't expecting it to sell out, and it has. And
I've been informed that my mum will be out on the lash tomorrow night, and me stepdad and a few of the other blokes are gonna have the Gateshead match on in the background. So hopefully there's cheering from Spain as well.
Yeah, we know we're going to have Norway. Will be watching over there. Looking forward to being in the sold-out Tyne and Wear stand tomorrow, seeing the Charltons. So yeah, it's going to be really good. Really looking forward to it. I say,
brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, if you are just joining us, please do, when we go off in about 15 minutes, go back, watch the beginning of the show. Also, as well, if you are listening on the audio podcast, why not join us on the video podcast? It's exactly the same, just you get to see our beautiful faces and who we're talking to. So, and you can also interact as well if you want to watch us live. And yeah, it's Mr. Luke's put possible pitch invasion if we win. It's a long distance to the pitch, so now I'm not in any.
Believe me, by the time the game ends, your feet will be knacking with the cold. So you'll be like Terminator, where he runs through the hydrogen, is it? And he just breaks up. I think that's what would happen if I tried to run. Just break into bits.
So if you do want to send any messages, please do. Be absolutely fantastic. And also as well, we have retweeted numerous times Louis' podcast, and you want to hear from the Charlton perspective on the other end. Haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but it's a good listen though, isn't it, Mickey?
Yeah, I listened to it last night, and I heard you were on it, and I thought, oh God, I'll switch it off when that was on.
I thought you might have fast forwarded on that bit, but we'll just put a picture of their logo there. It's quite a nifty one. There we go, Charlton Live. So have a look on social media.
It's a half decent listen, to be fair.
Yeah, as I say, it was absolutely lovely for them to say we reached out. Nice to have a bit of a swap cast, so to speak. And reach out. We try to do it as much as we can, but we don't always get replies. So it was lovely for him to come on, and it was nice to be able to help out on his show as well. And who knows, if there's a replay, we'll definitely have him back on. We've got a message.
We'll stop at his.
We'll stop at his. It'll be all right. We'll be great house guests. Do you think that Langstaff will play on Friday? He's in with a chance. I don't know if he'll start. If he does, it'd be great to get 60 minutes out of him if he's fit enough to do that. But we'll just have to see. It's see how he gets through the rest of training this week, and let's say anything's possible.
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't start. Yeah, that's for sure. Predictions. Let's have some predictions.
Oh yeah, get your predictions in. How are you? I'm gonna go if we can get a first goal. I think 2-1, 2-1.
My heart says we'll take the lead. They'll equalise and we'll score a late one again. That was with my heart, but
my head's saying 2-0.
It's going to be a really, really difficult game. Really difficult game.
As I say, we of course we can lose the game, but we can't lose when you look at the bigger picture. We're getting a good crowd in. If we can give a good account of ourselves, show what the club's all about, what the players are all about, and hopefully entice people to come back on Tuesday for the York game, and try and embed ourselves even further into the playoffs, and get up that league table with those games in hand, then that's got to be a massive plus. But we can dream. It is the FA Cup. We've got a chance. It's in front of the cameras. The pressure's on Charlton, not us. And how many times have we watched FA Cup games where the minnows have got through, and you think, God, I wish that was us. Well, this is our chance. So
another question. With York in mind, do you think Mike Williamson may be a weekend team?
You never know. That would be a good one. I've got a prediction from Gordon. He's saying 2-1 to Gateshead. We've got gonna be some atmosphere tomorrow, whatever the result. I'd be disappointed if we didn't score. Yeah, it'd be nice to get a score, get the crowd going. And also as well, Ryan Bolton has left the club. He's saying for Wickham, we wish him all the best. We spoke to him in pre-season. He was a lovely lad, very enthusiastic, and I'm sure he'll do very well for Wickham and progress higher up through the league. So we wish him all the best. And Sam Guthrie as well, another player that left the club as well. We wish him all the best as well. So see, we've got about 10 minutes left. So if you want to send any messages, please do. I think we're going to play another advert just while we're waiting for some messages to come in. But let's hope this man can do some magic on Friday night. Captain Greg Ollie there. We've got another couple of messages here. Side note, we had a guest on earlier in the season, or was it last year? Before this season, we had Graham Lee on, but he's got the Hartlepool job. We spoke to Graham about his dad, Tony Lee, of course, former Gateshead manager, and lovely bloke. And he's got Mickey Nelson there, who I liked at his time at Gateshead, even though it was a brief 6-month stay. But I wish him all the best. Yeah, I did a great job at Blythe. Agent Nelson did well. But no, all the best to Graham Lee. He's a lovely man. His dad's a beautiful man, beautiful inside and out. And as I say, I wish him all the best because he's a bit of a legend down there. Played some good games for Hartlepool to Graham Lee, and it seems to be the perfect appointment, doesn't it? So we just wish him all the best.
Both of them are Hartlepool legends, aren't they?
Yeah, without a doubt.
And Mickey Barron, I wouldn't be surprised if Mickey Barron ends up there now.
I think so, because I did a commentary with him in pre-season against Hartlepool, and he's a lovely, lovely man. We've got Sam Pendleton, 1-1 draw is his prediction. We've got Craig, he's put 1-0 to Gateshead. So we've got people are confident. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the FA Cup. That's what it's all about. It's the magic of it, isn't it?
Builds your dreams, isn't it? I've never been so excited about a game for a long, long time. I mean, I love going to watch my team. Don't get us wrong. But I've never felt excitement like this for a long time. I think it was the Grimsby game was ruined by nerves. This one, I loved every minute of it. I just cannot wait.
It's I mean, when the draw was made, it was there was a bit of excitement, but we weren't guaranteed to be playing Charlton because obviously we still had the replay. So we had a little bit of time to have that in the back of our mind to settle down. I think if it had been initially through on the first go and then got Charlton, I would have had a bit more excitement at the time. It's been a slow build, and I've been nervous. I've went through waves of emotions where I've been like, I'm up for this. Now I'm thinking, I don't know. But tomorrow, I just want us to give a good account of ourselves and take it to Charlton, respect them, and go toe-to-toe. That's all we can ask for, And I think, most football league sides play a good brand of football, and I think it should be a great advertisement tomorrow night.
Should be. I mean, going back to thingy, obviously we had the replay. I think when we come out of the replay at Altrincham, everyone was on such a high because we knew what we'd done. We knew we're getting the money for the telly.
Yeah.
So every time I think of the Charlton game, I've had a smile on my face. I'll never forget that goal by Macaulay.
Well, hang on. We'll just stop 1 second. David Tron, put the beer down, son.
Hey, I tell you what, Davey's come close a few times with high scores.
Yeah. Well, if that happens, I think my wife will have to come and collect us from the stadium on a string because I'll be up a height. So
David Tron, when we played Bradford Park Avenue, had Gateshead 5, Bradford 1, and them 2 last-minute goals screwed his bet.
Well, Well, at least you got the consolation that Gateshead won.
I mean, we were ripping the mick out of him.
I've learned a long time ago. Don't bet on Gateshead. They'll only let you down.
I'll probably have. That's another thing I'll probably do tomorrow as well, Davey. I'll probably go and put a daft fiver on with a win.
Yeah. So we've got 5 minutes left. We touched on it before with Mark in the conversation, and we said it so many times. And you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record, saying it sound like a broken record, but you know, let's put a massive, well done again to Gated Soul and everyone that was into that, because tomorrow night it's for them people that work their socks off. There's too many to mention. I'll rattle off a couple of names: Bernard, Tracy, Steve Thornton. There's so many that I haven't mentioned, and I don't want to miss anybody out. But you all know anyone that is involved, that's in their meetings, doing their part, putting the work in, because without that work, we wouldn't have a club, and we wouldn't have anything that this management team have been able to build on because of that. And also a massive well done to Mike Williamson and Liam Watson for what they've managed to achieve as well. They've put so much time and effort into building this squad. We've been lucky that they've been able to not rush out and sign players this season. They did a lot of early business, but we had a half a year of not playing to be able to do a business. But they did their due diligence. They've got the right type of mentality in that squad. Something I've never seen a squad like this before. Never seen a unity like what they've got. The work, it's work
up there with the 2014, Davey. That's the biggest compliment I can give him. This seems exactly the same unity. What was they're all friends, all mates to do things together. That's what the lads in 2014 done. Certainly,
well, the Gated Soul, what we say, we'll always push everything that they do. And we mentioned a little bit earlier on about the signed shirt draw that was won by Kevin Fisher, and they raised £400 on the back of that, which is fantastic. So well done, everyone. If you just bought a ticket, you did your bit. Arthur Brown, well done, lads. Great show. Thank you very much. My father took me to every round, home and away, in the great FA Cup run 1953. Oh, fantastic. I've dedicated boys all the best tomorrow. Arthur Brown in Workington. Well, thank you very much, Arthur. Thank you very much for sending in your message. We really do appreciate that. If we have missed a message tonight, I do apologize. It has been a busy show. We've had great guests, so please do keep sending them in. Share the show as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps. We just want to push it out, and Facebook as well, and just get behind it, and hopefully we can get more people watching tomorrow, get into the build-up, and then they can, if they're watching the match, if someone you know says they're watching the match, just say watch the podcast beforehand, get in the mood. And
different night might put them off.
I know. Having a romantic night, put the podcast on, get in the mood.
That'll definitely kill the mood.
Well, James Gowland's put 4-3 to the Heat. I don't think my heart would be able to take a scoreline like that.
He's got a point, though. I wouldn't be surprised if it was something like that, to be fair.
Well, let's see. We just got to enjoy it. And well, Mickey, we're coming towards the end now. We've got a massive thank you to Louis Mendez from Charlton Live for joining us. Mark Carruthers, as ever. If you aren't able to go to the game, if you're working, traveling, or whatever, we are doing the commentary here on the Heat Army podcast. So if you can tune in, that's absolutely amazing, and we'll give you the game. And also, as well, 1 second before we go, there's a 2-hour ticket warning alert. Get your tickets. There's only 2 hours left. I wish I had a something to press. Have I got anything that'll give us a? Hang on 1 second. No, that was waves. 1 second.
That's the snow.
Spoken like a true man.
Yeah, I don't know if Sid James really does the 2-hour ticket warning justice, but it is 2 hours.
Spoken like a true man.
So there we go. Oh man,
I'll put it down to excitement, Dave.
Yeah. Big thank you to everybody. Enjoy tomorrow, wrap up, and let's just make it a memorable night. Everyone in that terrace will make noise, I'm sure of it. And a big safe trip as well, and wrap up warm to our Charlton counterparts as well. They're going to be out there in the East Stand. And so it's a long trip, and every one of them fans deserves a big pat on the back, whatever the result will be. So, so everyone enjoy tomorrow. We'll give one last message here. This one's to David Tron. Come on, Heed. Let's get a good win and into the third round. Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Come on!
And on that note, we will see you see next week. And see if it's a big result, it might be on the Monday.